And I can tell this is a really timely issue, not just for semiconductor industry itself, but also garnered by US-China strategic competition. Currently, this has been at the center of everything.
So the purpose, and I will summarize it in one sentence, is an attempt to do a brick by brick building of what we think could be a larger collaboration in the fab semiconductor industry. So we're not going one shot to the end. We're trying to see where we can find complementarities in supply chain, in raw material, in technology, and then see how it will grow, because there has to be comfort at both ends. So we'll try to navigate it, and that's the whole idea.
We have a good ecosystem for design. What I'll say, what are our strengths and weaknesses? A weakness, as I told in the beginning, we don't have a state-of-art fabs. That's true. And we are trying to acquire, and what are our strength? Strength-wise, we say that VLSI designs, we have very good strength, and even most of the MNCs like Intel, IBM, and all things have a huge design houses in India.
Semiconductor industry investment is a very sophisticated topic to talk about that. And as you may know, to semiconductor industry company, when they invest in, no matter in Arizona, in US, or even in Europe, or in India, or wherever, they will consider some factor. Of course, the land, electricity, water supply is one thing. Certainly, it's I think it's an essential factor to those the manufacturer.
How can India become a part of the global supply chain even before having a fab? When I say fab, although we have 3 fabs in the country, but then when I'm talking about the fab, I'm talking about the high-end commercial fab. So can India play an important role in that? And we have initiated this approach paper. We are coming out with a white paper in next couple of months, and see there are many associate industries, whether it is automotive or pharma companies, which if incentivized can actually start supplying raw materials to the fab or OSAT.
And since fab is very complex in terms of both technology as well as commercial operation, it requires large investments, also taking into consideration the high level of obsolescence and a great amount of support for business and operational ability. So balancing among the market, investment, infrastructure, and technology will be the key factors. A far-off supply chain could make a dent on logistic cost, and hence the option has to be a complete and closer ecosystem.
India is certainly, as a consumer base, any activity of manufacturing, packaging also, you actually become closest to the market. Not only that, of late we are actually trying to have our Prime Minister has bring out the notion of Atmanirbharta, which means self-reliance, as one of the members actually mentioned. There's also a national security angle to that. We are going to incentivize Indian-based designs. There are policies that are coming up, and some are already in place. And that means you'll also be closest to the product, right? It's not just closest to the market, but there is also going to be a closeness to the product.
So it's all the more important in the pandemic, post-pandemic world. Taiwan and India join hands to leverage each other's strength in design and manufacturing and become a truly global powerhouse when it comes to supply chain of semiconductor products.
For companies that want to invest in this sector, they also need to consider if they would be business feasible and technology competitive in the market. So having said that, most of the semiconductor technology are from the US. And that's the reason that the US sanction on the China's SMIC is so devastating. But however, we need to know that Taiwan is still very important in the global semiconductor fabrication.
So first part, which is what are the emerging insights that we are seeing from India? First is, supply chain roles. although the design houses in India have grown tremendously, the supply chain roles itself, which is kind of supply chain planning, supply chain sourcing, operations, and fulfillment, those have increased substantially, and those have been moved to India substantially and to some neighboring countries.
The connotation is fab means a silicon foundry of, let us say, sub 50 nanometer or sub 100 nanometer gate lengths or feature size. But what we at the Indian Institute of Science have, started to work on is a small scale fab which can get multiplied or which can get expanded to a large scale fab is of gallium nitride, which is an emerging semiconductor. So here is an opportunity for the semiconductor industry in Taiwan to collaborate, to establish or to forge some relationships with the Indian counterparts.
If we don't build redundancies, we are all in for more rude shocks going forward. And I think from our side, the Indian industry, the Indian electronics and semiconductor industry, we are absolutely committed to make sure that we work closely with the Taiwan industry and take this dialogue forward.